Hello everyone, this is Sarah Taylor from La Vie Inspirée. Today I'm going to be making a fabulous vegetable juice. Here's some of my ingredients. I have spinach, tomato, green pepper, I've got some leaf lettuce, cucumber, ginger, carrot, celery, and of course a lemon, and of course because lately I like a little bit of a kick, jalapeno and some garlic. I'm going to make my juice, but then the magic will happen. Then I'm going to make my famous Juice Pulp Crackers. See you in a bit. My juice, it's a gorgeous green color, full of all of those ingredients I just showed you. And I now have my container of pulp. Fairly decent sized container of pulp. The pulp gets pretty dry in my cubings, and I'm actually adding that pulp to a whole bunch of carrot pulp that I had saved and put in the freezer. So I'm going to mix this all together and we'll make crackers together. Hi everyone. So when I make my Juice Pulp Crackers, when I first wanted to make them, I went online and I found hundreds of recipes. And I fully believe that a recipe is really only as good as the cook. There were a few that I made, followed the recipe to a T, and well, typically my biggest complaints were they didn't make enough, because I like crackers. And I also like to make them and be able to share them with people and have enough to last me more than 2 days. My recipe is, well, it's not really a recipe, it's just whatever you have on hand. There are a few things that are important to have. One of the things I really find helps is nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast, you can buy it at a health food store, maybe at your grocery store, and it just adds in a really amazing flavor to the crackers. Some people say to me they don't eat yeast, and you can absolutely make these without yeast. You would just probably go maybe a little heavier on chia, which is sort of like an emulsifying agent, and probably throw in a little extra sea salt. I go easy on the sea salt, but completely up to you. You can play around with it. Maybe put more garlic, maybe put some onion in your juice when you make it, or just juice some onion so you have some onion pulp, and you can add that. You could even chop up little bits of onion and add them to your pulp, or buy dried onion flakes if you so desire. I often will add dried onion flakes, and today I do have some jalapeno in my pulp, so I will add some onion flakes, but I won't add any, chilies, for instance, or any spice cayenne. So what we start with is, these are my add-ins. These are sunflower seeds. Again, I have a recipe that calls for a cup and a half of pulp, and I'll show you in a minute. I've probably got about 5 or 6 cups of pulp. So I just kind of put in what I feel like putting in. So pumpkin seeds I'm running quite low on. So I'm just going to throw the rest of those in there. And I'm a big fan of almonds, so I'm going to put some almonds in here as well to cut up and drop on the floor. So all of these nuts and seeds are going to go into my crackers. I don't want to pulverize them, but I don't want massive chunks of things in my crackers either. Maybe I put a little too much in here. So basically what I have now is small little chopped up bits of healthy nuts and things. Cutting them up small enough so that when you do go to roll out your crackers, you're not going to have a problem because they're big chunks. It'll make sense in a bit. I also want to do some flax. And when I do flax, I don't mix it up with the rest, simply because flax is so fine. it really benefits from just being ground up on its own. Grinding up flax really helps you digest the oils, the beneficial oils, the flax oil obviously that's in flax. I'm gonna go more. I always loved flax. When I was a kid, I used to eat Red River cereal. My favorite parts were the flax bits. I used to sit and nibble on them. Okay, again, I didn't completely pulverize them. I'll go once more. But I got them all broken up. Okay, so my nuts and my flax. I've got my chia, which I don't grind up. I have nutritional yeast. I have some reduced sodium soy sauce, or you can use tamari. And we're gonna start mixing things up. I made 2 and a bit trays of crackers. This one I actually sprinkled some poppy seeds on top. I thought that might be nice for a little crunch. And this tray I actually sprinkled a little cayenne pepper on top, and this one is just plain, if you can call that plain. And this is the time when you can really add some cool things. So if you want, just experiment with herbs, whether fresh or dried herbs in your cupboard, and try them out. So I preheated my oven to 175, and I've got 3 trays in here. And they do take a long time at this temperature. If you're using a dehydrator, I mean, you'd be cooking them overnight. So I put them in at 175, and at this point I typically set my timer for about 2 hours. I'll probably come and check them at some point in the 2 hours, but essentially all they're doing at this point is trying to get rid of all the moisture that's in them, so you're not so much cooking them as you are drying them out. See in a little bit. My crackers have actually been in the oven for about 8 hours at this point. I did turn the heat up to 185, and I put my convection oven on. Just to have an idea, that's what we've got. I've poked at them a little bit since they've been in there. And what you want is you want them nice and crispy. Now these were actually on top for a while, so they got a little darker. But you'll see the crackers are nice and crispy. They could actually even be in longer. You really want them crispy. You want all the water out of them. And let's see this last one. And then you want to let them cool off completely. There's actually no harm in them sitting around for overnight, as long as they're not going to get eaten by an animal. And then you can put them away, store them in a covered airtight container, and you can even put them in the freezer to make them last a little longer. So that's how I make my juice pulp crackers. Enjoy!